My name is Jolie Dunham, and if you have just tuned into this video, it might be because you were searching about early stage chronic pancreatitis or minimal change chronic pancreatitis, and you happened upon my video. I have to say there's not a lot out there, which is why I'm kind of willing to throw in my hat and send a little information out onto the internet about this disease that's being researched, and it seems to be that there are a lot of gastroenterologists that really have no idea what's going on with this. We've been there, done that, right? I'm actually going to share that 2 weeks from tomorrow, I will be having a complete pancreatectomy at Virginia Commonwealth University, and my surgeon is Dr. Marlon Levy, who I was extremely blessed to find a year ago through someone that I met on a Facebook group and in one of the pancreatic groups. So I just wanted to share a little bit of my journey, and maybe I'll be able to show a little bit of the surgery, aspects before and after in recovery. I know there were only 2 videos that I saw out there, and it helped me a lot, but there's not enough there. And I'm a little bit older than some of the young folks that have been dealing with this. So let me just back up. I've lived a normal, healthy life, low fat, worked out, took care of myself. I'm going to be 61 in April. So you can see that I've pretty much, I've never been a smoker. I was not a drinker. All of the ideas that gastroenterologists have about who gets pancreatitis, et cetera, flew out the window when I walked in the door. On July 4th of 2015, I'm a singer, and I was performing down in Washington, D.C. on the PBS special, Capitol 4th, having a great time. It was my 9th year doing so, and I got home to New York State the following day and started to not feel well. Horrific pain in the upper epigastric area, down into the abdomen. Long and short of it was I ended up going to the emergency room, and they were completely shocked because they said, "You have acute pancreatitis." And I said, "What's a pancreas? Like, what does the pancreas do?" I had no idea. It ended up, they were kind of surprised about that because, quote unquote, my blood work was great. No lipase, amylase, nothing was wrong. No liver levels, alkaline phosphatase, nothing was wrong. So they kept me for 2 days and sent me on my way and said, "You have to eat a soft diet, etc." So like most of you who have suffered with this disease for a long time, it was mystifying, and I had a 5-day hospital stay in August, and that particular gastroenterologist was sure I had a divisum, and when I wasn't a divisum, he thought, he just couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. At the end of my stay, he told me he could give me something to help my brain manage the pain better when I was crying, and wanted to know why I was a level 6 5 days after being in the hospital. And that was after they did an EUS and a colonoscopy, etc. And he wrote a script for an antidepressant that was not an off-label use for pancreatitis or anything of that nature. And with 11 refills, by the way, kind of like, see you later, don't bother me. I never went back to him, and he never asked to see me again. I ended up, like probably many of you, I had my gallbladder out that December and contracted pneumonia when I was in the hospital, so that was a lengthy stay. And 2 weeks later was back in the hospital because I had a stone that was stuck in one of my biliary ducts, something in that nature. And I was in the hospital for 8 days then. They did a sphincterotomy, they stented me, the stents disappeared. When they went back in, there was nothing to be found. I had a total of 8 hospital stays that first year, and yet the results of all of my testing showed that there was, other than some mild duct dilation, nothing going on. So you kind of give up right after a while, not going to the hospital anymore, unless you're so severe in pain. My last hospital ER visit was a year ago at this time, and I was in severe pain, and even with a fever, I couldn't walk, and I swear to you that it was a flare-up of pancreatitis. And no, you're fine, go home. So last year, I found Dr. Levy at Virginia Commonwealth, and he immediately felt, based upon the acute pancreatitis, the symptomology, that I'd been feeling every single day for 3 years at that time. He felt it was pancreatitis, chronic pancreatitis, early stage chronic pancreatitis. But I was not willing to jump into the surgery at that time. Put me on enzymes and a little bit of pain medication, which I take only as needed. I do still work. I'm really blessed. I'm just a grumpy teacher. I teach music. And so when I'm hurting, like on a day like today, I tell my kids, I'm really hurting. So be kind. Anyway, I wanted to post this to just let those of you know that are suffering, where they tell you there's nothing wrong, to hang in there, because I went for my pre-op testing. We did genetic work a few months ago, and that showed that I had 3 mutations of genes that would cause chronic pancreatitis. And I did find out that my grandmother on my father's side actually died from stomach cancer, but she suffered with pancreatitis and had bile duct issues. So as soon as I heard that, I knew genetics had to be wound in there somewhere. So 2 weeks ago, I went for my pre-op testing, and finally, they showed damage to the pancreas, that the pancreas was in atrophy, and I had sludge in the bile duct, and there were a few other things that I won't even get into here, but it showed that there is an issue with the pancreas. So that just makes it easier for me to go into the surgery. Dr. Levy, based upon the genetic findings, the acute pancreatitis, and the fact that I've had pain every day. It's always every day, whether it's a 2 or it's a 6. It's not even after eating anymore. It's just there all the time. And the bottom line is, if you know that you have minimal change or chronic pancreatitis and you jump ahead of it, he said the biggest concern he always has is that people wait too long to get this surgery. So I would encourage any of you to find somebody in a major center, a major pancreatic center, whether it's New York or Long Island or Virginia, where I'm going, Dr. Morgan in South Carolina. Just find somebody that believes you, that's willing to take the walk with you, and don't give up. I'm nervous about my pancreatectomy, but I'm looking forward to the fact that I'm not going to come home worn out. And I get this boa constrictor, is all I can call it. It's this pain, it's up in your ribs, right? And it goes to your back. Those of you who suffer, you know what I'm talking about. It's not like any other pain. And I even had a GI tell me 3 months ago, I was trying to find someone local to partner with Dr. Levy. And he said, I don't wish to offend you, but I think you have IBS. And I was actually polite to him when I should have just said, and he said, I don't know anything about early stage chronic pancreatitis. And frankly, I should have told him he needs to learn about it. I knew more about it than he knew about it. And he's making a lot of money to be a gastroenterologist. So I'm hoping that maybe I can share some of my journey before the surgery and then in recovery. So those of you that are walking the walk and need a little bit of extra support have some information out there. Again, take care. If you're here looking at this video, I feel your pain quite literally. And God bless to each and every one of you. Once again, my name is Jolie, and I hope that I could help you.